Are you ready?
Good news, everyone! I'm the surprise in your cereal box. I'm
great! Everybody else sucks!
I said, are you ready?
Yes, sir, random kid I just met.
It's Ciely.
Hooray! People are paying attention to me.
That's right. You're always blaming me. So, my reputation exceeds me.
It's time to check the link.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
You know what? You just made the list!
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time.
Really?
No, burn.
What is up, you ducks? It is All In Football on FTN. As a reminder, before we get into everything, might not be the best show, but it's the best intro of any show there is out there, so please review. A reminder, if you're listening on iTunes or wherever you are, at least please go over to iTunes because they nuked the old one. People are still asking where they can find this. We're still trying to help everybody out, but what would help is resubscribing and re-reviewing. And then we have one more. This is the final week before we get to the preseason's final week, but the final week for the giveaway, where if you do leave a review on iTunes, it's going to be a giveaway for one person to win an entire year of FTN Plus. And honestly, I might try and see maybe give out a second giveaway, just myself. Like
Do it.
Xbox Madden code, maybe. I don't know if I don't have time to play Madden. I might just give away my code, just give away to somebody else. So maybe that'll be second place. So keep reviewing. And if you haven't reviewed, there you go. But I guess if you have PlayStation 5, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But sorry, I don't tell you. Might have to do with some of your fantasy teams so far, like Lauren, who drafted Devon Achane, and then boom, hurt.
The curse is back. The curse is back, Jake. It's back.
Everybody we talk about on the show is bound to get hurt. So let's talk about
so annoying.
Because we reverse the curse. Like just everybody. We're going to cover every single player in the NFL. Oh, everyone. There's nobody left.
I did. I immediately texted you, and I was like, no, Jake, it's back. The curse. It's real. I literally just drafted A-Chain, and then, boom, I want to say less than 5 minutes later. I mean, within... I want to say maybe a minute. I got the news. He was carted off the field. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Wow.
I mean, look, this is it. This is the good and the bad of drafting early, as we do like weeks ago. Like the good and the bad of drafting a month ago was that you don't have to worry about Khalil Herbert being undervalued or Dameon Pierce or all the rest. But that's what we're talking about today. So first off the hop, are you buying into, you don't like rookies, Lauren, but Tank Bigsby has been talked up and talked up and talked up and talked up, and he continues to produce. Travis Etienne been running with the ones. He's been the starter, but there's been talk about whether or not Bigsby is going to be, I guess, taking away from Etienne's value. Like, this is going to be a timeshare piece? Is this going to be a committee with somebody else involved in the passing game? Like, I don't know, a third option to just basically screw up everything we loved about Etienne last year and hope to see it's going to go back in the other direction. This is a Doug Peterson team. We've done this dance before with his backfields. Are you buying into the Tank Bigsby love? And if that, for a reason, are you going to be drafting Tank Bigsby?
Okay, so first of all, I don't hate rookies, all right? I don't believe in rookie wide receivers. I want to make that very clear. It's not that I hate rookies. I just don't believe in rookie wide receivers their very first year in the NFL. So also, sorry about the volume. I'm trying to get my volume figured out here, everybody.
I see the comments. We're trying to fix it.
We're trying to
StreamYard, this
fix
is what
it.
happens. Like, it's the same setting every single show, every single episode, and StreamYard does its own thing, like whatever. So, yeah.
So I'm going to be looking to make sure I've got...
Hopefully it's better.
I know. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully Fox can tell me like up or down if I'm okay. So I don't hate rookies. I just don't believe in rookie wide receivers. With that being said, I'm going to transition over to rookie running backs, which I have a lot more faith in, and still down on my end, Lauren. So keep turning it down. I'm going to be muted here in like a hot minute. So I'm just going to keep going down, you know, like
hopefully never sponsored. Like StreamYard's not going to end up being a sponsor.
I'll go out here. I'll like
thank you for your wonderful free platform, but at the same time,
I know every single time I come on here, my volume is jacked. Okay, so with Tank Bigsby, I've talked about this before. I love Tank Bigsby, and this is going to be kind of a thorn in Travis Etienne's side, but I think we saw this coming. We've spoken about this before. Travis Etienne got an innumerable amount of touches last season when he exploded. I believe with James Robinson got hurt. He was out. Who was there? It was James Robinson, right? That was RB1. He was
James
like that
Robinson
insignificant.
year,
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds fine. Okay, cool. So whatever. I'll just keep talking. And if it's annoying, I'm really sorry. So anyway, he exploded. I think it was after week 7, week 8. But the amount of touches he got was ridiculous. And that is going to need to come down. Doug Peterson said so. Travis Etienne himself said so. So this is obviously going to be a place where Tank Bigsby can step up. I love this. And I really like targeting Tank Bigsby. Unfortunately, I have not had the pleasure of being able to draft him because I get sniped. And I'm going to have to start reaching for him around early if I really do want to get him because he's just not falling to me in drafts. And it breaks my heart a little bit.
Well, I think that's the bigger concern is that everybody wants the draft Tank.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody.
Oh, no. Now Jake's audio is all messed up. Jake, your audio to me is totally messed up.
Well, that's you. This is StreamYard. You can't hear. No, I'm going fine over here. This is a wonderful show that we're having.
This is awesome.
Can you hear
Welcome to broadcasting, everybody. We're awesome.
Can you not really hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I was literally, because you started the show off with like, it may not be the best show, but it's the best intro. I was going to argue with you, and now I don't think I'm going to because this has been a rough start. Because
StreamYard's trash today. Wonderfully.
It is a little hot messy.
Oh my God. Can I continue, or I have no idea what's going on? So you're gonna have to tell me.
I don't know what's going on either. Go ahead. Keep going. I can hear you fine now, so it's all good.
You can hear me fine. So the question I had for you is, what point would you take Tank Bigsby? At what point is Tank Bigsby too low or too high? What are you thinking? 8th round? Because you said you keep getting sniped. So when are you thinking about him? When does he go?
I'm gonna go as late as the late 6th, early 7th. That's kind of where because I've been trying to target him in the 8th, which is still reaching for him because according to Sleeper, on a 12-person team, he's going in the 10th. That is not happening anymore. I don't know what drafts this is happening where Tank Bigsby is falling that far. Maybe in home leagues or in bar leagues or something, sure. But in the industry leagues that I've been in so far, he's gone. He's off the board. And it's very frustrating. Like right when I think it's the sweet spot to get him. But I'm going to have to reach. I'm just going to have to plan for that and make sure that my roster is constructed accordingly.
And well, I think that'll be the difference between, again, this is not when I say this for everybody out there, like casual leagues. This is not like talking down to people, but in average ADP, he's RB 45 to 50. So he is going much later than when you keep getting sniped. But that's what I wanted to bring up. But I think this is the more important part. You mentioned keep getting sniped. You want to draft him. And then all these industry leagues, he's been taken in the 6th, 7th, 8th round. I was like, hold on. We're still talking about a backup. We're still talking about the second piece in the backfield. We're still talking about maybe best case scenario 50-50. So he should be an 8th, 9th, 10th rounder. He should be where his ADP is, but the industry leagues push him up because everybody wants to get their guys and everybody wants to look smart at the end of the drafts. So I will caution by saying is like, yes, Bigsby can be a good pick, but at the same time, don't go crazy. And what do I say? Don't buy all the risk. Don't buy all the risk where a 5th rounder, 6th rounder for Tank Bigsby is like, where's the upside there? Unless obviously ETN gets hurt, but we're not drafting handcuffs in the 5th and 6th round.
I just don't know if he's going to be a strict handcuff. I really think that this is going to be a committee per usual with Doug Peterson. Now, guessing when he is going to have those big explosive games is going to be the game to have to try to play with Tank Bigsby. But I just have a feeling he's going to be so involved and he's going to be involved a lot. So I think this is going to be a lot more of a committee than what people were used to seeing last season.
Okay, well then let's stick with running backs. How about that?
Let's do it.
Do that. Is that okay, StreamYard? Can we continue to talk about something?
I don't know. I don't think they like us today.
No. Jaylen Warren, this has been the continuing talk since January, is that Jaylen Warren was going to be an issue for this year, looked more explosive at times in 2022. Apologetic side of things for Najee. Is that apologetic side? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Sure.
For Najee Harris he was playing Liz Frank for a lot of the season. He did look better in the second half. Actually, right around their bye, seemed to get back to 100%. And then he was top 15 the rest of the way and looked better. Was he, top of the league and explode 5 yards to carry? No, but he looked better. And Jaylen Warren was still sprinkled in. But the continued talk has been Najee Harris volume doesn't do that good. 3.9 yards a carry. He's kind of plod sometime. And Jaylen Warren, explosive play. And then had an explosive play over the weekend for a big touchdown. And everybody's like, ooh, Jaylen Warren is going to be cut in. you just rolled your eyes. I think that's
did.
like, are we at the point, so to go back to Doug Peterson, something I bring up a lot is that, yes, he has involved 2, 3, 4 running backs at times in years, but if you go back to Miles Sanders' rookie season, he was the clear lead. There were still other people involved. Coaches will change a little bit depending on who they have. At this point, depending on Mike Tomlin, possibly changing would be using a running back 30, 35% of the time as the second option. He is normally the bell cow king, if we can call him that. Do you believe that Mike Tomlin is going to continue being Mike Tomlin, or is Mike Tomlin becoming a leopard turning into a tiger and changing his spots into stripes?
I think that's a little far. I think we're still going to have Mike Tomlin being Mike Tomlin. There could be a little bit of, is it like regressing towards the mean? Is that something that I can say? Yeah. He may start getting a little bit closer to a quote committee, but it's never going to be a true committee when it comes to a Mike Tomlin offense. It's just not really how that scheme works with the offense, with all of the offensive pieces. Now, Najee Harris is going to need a water break. I don't say that flippantly. Jaylen Warren will be sprinkled in. He will be involved. He'll probably snipe a couple of touchdowns, which would be super irritating. But when it comes to volume, I'm still in that camp where Najee is the clear number one, and they have a solid backup handcuff in Jaylen Warren. God forbid anything happen to Najee Harris. So I think this is great for real football, but for fantasy purposes, it does not scare me or bother me nearly as much as the Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne.
Okay. Am I better now? Am I now?
Yeah, you sound great. It's like you were born to do this, Jake. We're together. Like we can make this happen.
Born to deal with StreamYard.
It's great. This is how we roll.
This is why you subscribe, because then you don't miss this nonsense. All right, so I'm going to save one running back for Meanie. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, you don't get to talk about James Cook. Haha. You have to tune into the next episode. No James Cook for you, Lauren. Only for Meanie. That's because he's his boy, and I want to continue to talk about this.
I will defer to Meanie. I will gladly defer.
Meanie?
I will gladly do it. You can have him.
Then let's talk about another backup situation. This is a lot of backups. Potential. These are winners in round 2, preseason week 2, preseason round 2 fight. This is what happened. Yeah. Bigsby, a winner. Jaylen Warren, a winner. Najee Harris, potentially a loser. How about trying to figure out behind Alexander Mattinson? Ty Chandler went from before the preseason even started, you might not make the roster, buddy, because Nkwonu is used on the kickoff return, kickoff and kickoff returns. He's special teamers. And then they drafted McBride, who's kind of like a hammery type of running back. So it's kind of, what happens to Ty Chandler? Well, what happens to Ty Chandler in the preseason is Ty Chandler starts outplaying McBride, which you would say they're probably not going to immediately cut McBride, but has he played well enough that you can make Nkwonu expendable and maybe he gets involved in it? Point being, is Ty Chandler the backup to own behind Alexander Mattinson, or are you just not drafting anybody in the Vikings backfield after Alexander Mattinson?
I'm not drafting anyone in the Vikings backfield after Alexander Mattinson. I'm not doing it because I have no idea.
Who? Alexander
Mattinson. Yeah, I'm not doing it. This is so unclear. It's so muddy. It's so murky. And it's difficult because there are pros and cons to preseason when it comes to fantasy, right? We get to see some of these guys, explore their talents on the field. We get to see them shine. But does it overhype those players?
What do we for some reason?
I know that really did, didn't it? Explore the options on the field.
Explore their talents on the field. Keep that in the
it's a family show here. That's not what I meant. You know it. So it is, but it's deceiving. So for me, I don't see a clear-cut option behind Alexander Mattinson. So I'm avoiding this situation because if I'm going to have a dart throw towards the end of my leagues, it's going to be on a high upside guy. And I don't think any of these guys behind Mattinson have clear upside. So I'm going to go somewhere else.
Well, I would say a good comparison is the years where we said stop trying to figure out the backups that don't mean anything. Like, who's next up behind Saquon Barkley? Matt Breida, and I was about to say Eric Gray, but Eric Gray is this year. But that's the same. Jashawn Corbin, like all the rest, and it's like it's really the answer is nobody. Because nobody's going to bring that value, and it's going to be a committee, and there's going to be multiple people involved. And like that's just some of these options and some of these times and some of these backfields, the answer is nobody. Some is just why. Now, of course, if it's your last pick and you're looking at the board and you're like, wow, I'm going to take Randall Cobb or Ty Chandler. I'm going to take Ty Chandler.
Yes.
But point being, like, don't stress yourself off with, most regular leagues. I think that there's better options still to be had on the board, which we could talk about another backfield. This one might be relevant, ? Ron Burgundy behind a new running back lead, Tony Pollard, and Malik Davis was the talk, after Ronald Jones was suspended, and he was the talk, and we were really doing Ronald Jones again. But now the answer is, like, we talked Deuce Vaughn. We actually talked Deuce Vaughn on SiriusXM on Saturday, which I saw one of the comments in there. You know, obviously the SiriusXM show doesn't have to deal with StreamYard, so we don't have this wonderful up and down. It's still a wonderful show, but the interesting thing is we know Deuce Vaughn is going to be J.D. McKissick, who I brought up the name and compared to Darren Sproles, Tariq Cohen. 3 great years of Tariq Cohen, but he's an RB3. They're the RB3s sprinkled in half-point and full-point PPR, and there'll be some weeks they'll be frustrating. But if you're looking for the backup plan, it now sounds like it's Rico Dowdle, who we've seen Dowdle before sprinkled in, and we've seen like, oh, he's looked good at times. But he's been taking over this preseason behind Tony Pollard. Is Dowdle somebody that you would take a flyer on late in your drafts?
No, I'm not touching any of this. This is gross too. Both of these backfields are just a hot mess. I don't know. In fact, I was just in a draft with Michael Fabiano in the Flex League, and he took Deuce Vaughn. And yeah, mic drop or name drop, excuse me. And
name drop.
So he's like, "Hey, did you think that was a bad decision?" And I'm like, "No, because who is the clear backup? One week it's this guy, the other week it's another guy." So no, I don't personally want to take that shot. I don't want to take that risk. So behind Tony Pollard, I'm avoiding that backfield completely.
Okay. Then how about this backfield? Which, by the way, Dowdle falls in the same conversation for everybody that's wondering. He falls in the same conversation for me as we just had. Again, around 13, 14, take a flyer on Dowdle. If everything else is blown up, there's no upside left on the draft board, I have no problem with it. But I'm not taking Rico Dowdle in like round 10 because, he's looked so good. Something happens to Tony Pollard. I still think this is a similar backfield to what we've been talking about. Is it's going to be Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn and potentially Malik Davis. At that point, somebody else will be involved. I don't think there's going to be a clear, like when we had Zeke and Pollard, we knew when Zeke was out, it was all Tony Pollard. I don't think we're going to have that if Tony Pollard goes out. Another backfield like that. Again, some of these backfields don't have clear backups, but this one does. So much so that the clear backup might be the clear lead? Question mark? We're getting to the point now. I have been the lowest, and there's a lot of people coming around in agreement. I'm looking right now, and my rank versus ADP and consensus is still 10 running back spots, not 10 overall, 10 running back spots lower on Ken Walker. And it has nothing to do with how good your boy Charbonnet, Zach Charbonnet, has looked this preseason. It's as soon as they drafted him, we've talked Ken Walker to death about how he's inefficient at what he's supposed to be great at in the short yardage. The breakaway plays are still there, but he's banged up. But Charbonnet's been great. But it's Pete Carroll, who likes multiple running backs and will go with whoever's playing well. But, I don't even have Ken Walker as an RB2 anymore. And at this point, it's not just this. We've covered this enough, Lauren. If you're on the board, let's say Ken Walker falls, and he makes it all the way to round 5, and it's Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Are we at the point now where we're taking Charbonnet?
I am. Yeah, I am. Because we're talking about the 5th round. We brought this up before. 5th, 6th, 7th round. There's some juicy RB1s in those rounds. I'm avoiding Ken Walker, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Zach Charbonnet just a little bit later.
Would you feel better if 1 week? I know this is looking ahead. We'd have a completely different answer come next Monday.
Of course,
because we're going to get week 3 of we're going to have week 3 of the preseason, so something might happen. We've already heard Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing for the Jets in week 3. Week 3 is kind of turned into it's weird because it's the last preseason game, which is normally you don't get to see anything, but it's still week 3, which was when we usually got the most information. So it still kind of seems like it might be. There's a lot of teams that are kind of probably play 1 or 2 series, even 3 series.
It's
with
the dress
starters.
Rehearsal, like where all the actors put their costumes on. And
is it the real dress rehearsal like we used to know? I
don't know.
Point being, we might have an answer, but as of today, assuming things are as they are, if Ken Walker comes out in week 3, is the starter, plays first and second down with Geno Smith and DK and Tyler Lockett, and the starters are out there for 2 or 3 drives, will you immediately reverse course? Like this is a fair question, I think. I'm not coming for Lauren because I think there's the toss-up right now. But if you saw that, would that make you feel better about, you know what, Ken Walker's still a lead?
No, I don't think it would.
Okay.
No, it really wouldn't because I'm so not sold on Kenneth Walker being A, health, and B, being able to be as explosive in that offense that I think Charbonnet can be. So even if Ken Walker is the starter, I think there is every opportunity in the world for Charbonnet to be able to overtake him and then become the starter over Ken Walker. So I'm avoiding Kenneth Walker at all costs. I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm going to try to target some other players or running backs whereabout he's going. So I'm staying away from it because I don't believe in it, and I don't believe in Pete Carroll keeping it that way.
Oh, that's the biggest thing. Like, how many times have we not learned from Pete Carroll?
I know.
Well, let's finish off with: do you want to go to the AFC South or the AFC South? How about, do you want to go to the Indianapolis Colts or the Houston Texans?
Let's go the Colts.
All right, Texans it is. Haha, I did what I did.
Haha, you did a meanie to me. I love it.
Pierce, Dameon Pierce is bell cowing the crap out of the preseason right now. Like, the big thing about Dameon Pierce was like, all right, was it nobody else was really relevant with him last year on the Texans, and now they have some options. They bring in an established player in a Devin Singletary. It's like he's going to lose third downs. We talked about it a week ago and said, you know what? That doesn't look to be the case because Devin Singletary is the clear backup. Maybe it's a Goombawali used in the pass game, and Dameon Pierce is still 250 carries, but maybe 20 receptions, overlooking the 30 for 38, by the way, that he did last year. Well, the answer so far has been he's going to be out there on third downs as well. He is out there a hell of a lot. On the flip side, we still have the concerns of the Houston Texans offense. They're starting a rookie. Their wide receivers are a mess. By the way, John Mechie has been behind Noah Brown this entire time. I still love some Mechie, but he's a deep league. Yeah, he's a deep league flyer at this point. He's fourth right now on the depth chart. And it's not only that, but like slot option behind Noah Brown. So that's a big concern. But anyway, talk more about Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce, should we be talking about him as a potential top 15 running back, or is the team he's on going to go ahead and keep him as a mid RB2?
No, I've been on the Dameon Pierce train since last year. I love Dameon Pierce, and this does not surprise me in the slightest. And I'm so glad that my hope and my dreams are starting to come true. And this is finally Dameon Pierce season, baby. Let me have all of this that I can. I love Dameon Pierce. I saw this happening, and I'm sad at it. I guess I'm not sad because it's happening now. But hey, I love Dameon Pierce, and he has every opportunity to finish in the top 15.
Okay, then let's play a little toss-up then. I wasn't planning to do this, but now I'm curious.
Let's do it.
How about Dameon? Oh, here's one. We just talked about him. Najee Harris or Dameon Pierce? Who are you taking?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go Dameon Pierce.
Interesting. How about Dameon Pierce or Aaron Jones?
Oh, Dameon Pierce.
Dameon Pierce or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs. Stop it with that.
I mean, I think it's a fair toss-up.
It's a very fair toss-up. I think they play kind of different styles, roles, but yeah, I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs here. I'm a Jahmyr Gibbs truther. Like, it's probably going to come back to bite me in the butt, but I don't care. I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs. I love them both.
Well, then two more. How about Dameon Pierce or Cam Akers?
Dameon Pierce.
Okay. Dameon Pierce or Miles Sanders?
Oh my God! Please don't even with this trash. Dameon Pierce.
I was about to say, you got to say the answer. There might be people just now tuning in. The years of your hate of Miles Sanders. Like, the only thing Lauren hates more than rookies is Miles Sanders.
That is not. Whatever.
Never going to let it go.
I know.
All right.
It's not. It's fine.
Last one before we get out of here. There's still a mess with the Colts. But for everybody out there that also hasn't been paying attention, not again, that sounded so condescending, but like that has been the Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs situations look like they're going to be fine. Like there's now reports that everybody's like, oh, Josh Jacobs is going to show up for week 1. He's just not going to show up before then. And the thing is,
not according to Josh McDaniels.
I know this is so weird, but according to everybody else, and he doesn't get fined because, hey, it's not practice or not at the podium. He's here just so he doesn't get fined. It doesn't matter because he didn't sign the deal. So he can just still show up and sign the deal, and he doesn't even get fined, which is part of the reason he's probably doing it. But Jonathan Taylor is kind of like, yeah, he's still going to show up too. Oh, he's with the team, but he's still not even practicing yet. But Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs, the Jonathan Taylor situation's more clustery behind him because at least we know if Josh Jacobs gets hurt or does not show up for week 1, it's Zamir White.
Right.
The Jonathan Taylor is this dude, and all these dudes not playing well, and all these dudes, like Evan Hull was supposed to be the option, and then he plays like junk, Deion Jackson. Like, is this another one to finish this wonderful show on a no question answer thing? I have a feeling is your answer, but is this just another of if it's not Jonathan Taylor, the answer is nobody?
It's Kenyon Drake. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I
Kidding.
really
It's no
thought-
one. No, it's no
I
one.
really thought you were going to be serious there for a second.
No. It's no one. I have no idea what's going to happen in this backfield whatsoever. They didn't sign Kareem Hunt, which I thought was interesting because then that would have been my go-to answer. So I really have no idea. I
That
have
was
no clue.
weird. Kenyon Drake
Right?
over Kareem Hunt.
I even
Was Kareem
drafted
Hunt just
him
asking
in-
for too much money.
I know. I think I drafted him in the Queen's Classic because it was like going to be a sure
Leonard
thing
Fournette?
that what is going on? I honestly don't know. And
They're just
whatever.
not any good anymore. There's a
Yeah.
problem, Happy. You're not any good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Love it.
One of the best ever. Hopefully people stuck around to the end after that wonderful StreamYard up and down and roller coaster. And if you have, and are all the way at the end, reminder, code all in over at the FTN show or FTN Network. We'll be back Wednesday with Chris. We need to talk more about the preseason and his boy, James Cook. Sorry, Lauren, we need to talk about that. But stepmom Lauren, follow her there. Rate and review. FTN Plus, free for a year, potentially. And then I am going to give up the Xbox Madden code. I'm not going to play it. Who am I kidding? So I'll give out the Xbox Madden code as the second giveaway. But again, sorry if you're on the other platforms. It's only Xbox. That's the code I got. I can't give away another code I don't have. Sorry. And I can't do it. I can't do anything about StreamYard. So whatever. Goodbye. See you Wednesday. Hopefully better. Deuces.